Hey guys, hope you are doing well. Before we start, let's do a quick recap on my previous video. In my previous video, we discussed variables in Python and how to give variable names, and also we learned the best practices for giving a variable name. We also discussed that Python supports flexible data types, and also we discussed the number data types, which include integer and float data types. Then we did some practicals on the Jupyter notebook with number data types. Next we discussed about string data type and did some practical examples in the Jupyter notebook. Next we discussed on indexing with string in Python and also discussed about the forward and reverse indexing, and also did some practical examples with indexing in the Jupyter notebook. Next we discussed on slicing of string in Python and also did some practical in Jupyter notebook of various ways of slicing with start, end and step. Next, I gave you a very important tip that how to reverse a string with single line of code in Python using string slicing. Next, I gave you a homework on string operation and the solution of which I have already provided in a separate video, and the IPNB file is been uploaded to Git and the URL is shared with you. Welcome to the tutorial 4 of this video tutorial series Python 3 from basic to advanced, and today's topic is string function. The first few. Though eventually I will discuss all the string functions in my subsequent videos, for interest of time and the video length, I have broken down in multiple videos, and in this video I will discuss only the first few string functions used in Python. Before we start, let's see what are the string functions we are going to discuss today. We will start with the capitalize function, the casefold function, the center function, the count function, the endswith function, the encode function, the expandtabs function, the find function, and then continue with the format function, the index function, the isalnum function, and then the isalpha function, the isascii function, the isdecimal function, the isdigit function, and the isidentifier function. And then is the islower function, the isnumeric function, the isprintable function, the ispace function, the istitle function, and lastly the isupper function for this video. So now let's first discuss about the capitalized string function. The capitalized string function capitalizes the first character of the string and also converts the other characters in that string to lowercase. So let's see with an example. So let's take a string Python is awesome. I have intentionally kept the first letter of the string as lowercase and also kept the first letter of the word awesome as uppercase. And let's apply capitalize function on this string. And let's execute this, and you will see the P letter of the word Python got uppercased and the A letter of the word awesome got lowercased. Please don't confuse with the name capitalize it, as it seems that it will capitalize the whole string. It essentially capitalizes the first letter of the string. Now let's discuss on the casefold function. The casefold function is similar to lowercasing, but it is more aggressive because it is intended to remove all the case distinction in a string, and it is very useful in string comparison. So let's take a string Python is awesome and apply the casefold function. I have intentionally kept the word Python in uppercase to show you the difference. So let's execute it. So you can see that the word Python, which was in uppercase, got lowercase. For your information, all the characters in the string gets case folded and converted to caseless characters so that it can be compared with other string irrespective of their cases. To prove that, let's take another cell. So escape B, which will create a new cell below, and I will take the German lowercase letter beta, which is equivalent to SS. We will directly compare these two words and let's see what it returns. So if you see, it returns false if we directly compare beta, which is a lowercase German letter, with SS. Now if I apply the casefold function on beta and execute the code, you will see it returns true. So it means beta, which is a German lowercase letter, is equivalent to English SS. So this is the utility of casefolds, which wipe all the cases from the string and it is helpful for string comparison. The center string function takes two arguments, width and fillchar, where fillchar is an optional argument. The center string function is used to align the string to the center based on the width provided as an argument and provide the padding as white space by default. If some fillchar character is supplied, it will provide the padding with the fillchar character. Let's see with the example. So let's take the string Python is awesome and apply the center function with a width say 50. So the width 50 means the string length of the full string will be 50 and the actual string will be aligned in the center of the width. So let's see what is the application of fillchar if it is provided. So let's take another cell, so escape B. So let's take the same string Python is awesome and apply the center function with the width of 50 and also supply a fillchar character as $. And if we execute this code, you will see the padding is been filled by $sign as the fillchar character has been provided as $. And also the string provided is been aligned to the center of the total width of the string. So this is the utility of the center function. The count string function takes three arguments, the substring to be counted, the optional start index of the string to be considered, and the optional end index for the given string to be considered. So if we take the string, both men and women are allowed, and try to count the letter E in the string, so it will return you the number of E in the whole string. So main has 1 E, woman has 1 E, R has 1 E, and allowed has 1 E. So total 4. If we try to count the letter E from the part of the string or a substring of this string, let's copy this string and let's count E, and let's say we want to count E from this substring. So let's have the start index of this substring. So it is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 is the start index until the end of the string we will consider. So if we execute that, you can see the number of E's are 3. So basically 1 E in woman, 1 E in R, and 1 E in allowed. So the E in the men is excluded. So this is how you can also consider the part of the string by giving the end string as well. So if we consider only woman, so 14, 15, 16, 17. So if we give 17 and execute it, you will see it has written count as 1. So woman has only 1 E. So this is the utility of the start index and the end index in the count function. The endswith string function take three arguments, the suffix, the start index, and the end index. So the suffix is a substring that you want to find in the given string that it ends with or not. The endswith function returns a true or false if the string ends with the suffix specified in the string provided as a whole. The optional start index and end index specifies the indices start and the end of the suffix to be considered to check the string ends with. The start index and the end index parameters are optional, like the count function. So if we take an example, say we take a string woman and apply the endswith function and check for men and execute it, it returns a true. So similarly, if we create a new cell and again use the woman string and type in endswith man and execute it, it returns a false. We take another cell and use the same string woman and apply the function endswith and use the suffix as men and give the string index as 4 and execute, and it returns false because if you check 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 is at the end of the string. If we give a start index of 2 and execute it, it returns a true. So this is how the start index and the end index work in endswith function. The encode string function returns a UTF-8 encoded version of the string by default, and in case of failure it raises a Unicode decoder error exception. Python 3 stores strings as a sequence of Unicode characters, and each characters are Unicode points. The encode function helps you to convert these Unicode characters in some other encoding and store them. So as an example, if I take a string say Python and I just use a special character for the letter O and I try to encode it and execute this, you will see the letter O has been interpreted into some /xc3. By default, Unicode character takes no parameter, but it can take two parameters, such as you can specify the encoding, which is by default UTF-8, and also a errors parameter, which can take 6 values. So if we use the same string with the encode function and try to encode it in ASCII formatting, you will see you will get an error because it will return an error Unicode encode error. ASCII codec can't encode character XF8, which is the special O character I have typed in position 4. But if you use an error code like replace and execute this, it will replace that special character with a question mark. You can also use ignore as an error parameter, and it will ignore the special O or omit that special O and just give you the characters it can convert. So this is all about the encoding string function. The expandtabs string function returns a copy of string with all tab character, that is /t, replaced with white space character until the next multiple of tab size parameter. You can actually customize the tab size when you are actually putting a /t within your string. So let's use the string python /t is /t awesome, and then apply the expandtabs function. By the way, you will get that list by pressing tab after typing dot and then give a bracket. So by default, you will see it has taken tab wherever we have given /t as a default of 8 characters of white space. So if we specify the tab size as 16, so you will see the spacing has increased and each of the /t is taking 16 characters of white space. So this is the utility of the expandtab function for a given string. Now let's discuss about the find string function. The find string function takes the argument of the search string, the optional start index and the optional end index. It returns the index of the first occurrence of the substring in the given string if found, or returns -1 if not found. The start and the end indices signifies the index of the given string to search the substring. So let's take an example of the word miscellaneous, and let's apply the find function and search for the substring cell, and let's execute the code, and you can see the index 3 has been returned. So if we count 0, 1, 2, 3, so the first occurrence of the string cell start from the index 3 of the main string. So if we create another cell and use the same function, and I specify the start index as 4 and end index as 8 and execute the code, you will see the find function returns -1. That means it has not found the substring in the specified index provided for the main string. If I change the start index to 3 and execute again, it returns 3, telling that the cell string was found as a substring of the miscellaneous string at the index 3. String format function allows multiple substitution and value formatting. This method let us concatenate elements with a string through positional formatting. So let's start with a single formatter. So I take a string, welcome to the world of, and put curly braces instead of the word Python, and apply the format function and give the argument as Python to the format function. And if you execute this line of code, you will see that the Python word is being replaced in the curly braces. So you understand that the curly braces is a positional formatter to replace the single value Python at its place when the code is executed. You can use this function to do multiple replacement on the positional formatter. So if we type in the same string and just remove welcome with curly braces and world with curly braces and apply the format function and provide the value in sequential manner, say welcome, world, and then Python, and execute this line of code, you will see the string has been built as welcome to the world of Python. So curly braces are kind of a placeholder which get replaced by the index position of each of the word after execution of the code. Python also gives you the facility to put the indexes of each of the word provided as the argument to format your string. So if we copy this same string and then just shuffle welcome and Python and world and just put the index of each of the arguments starting from 0 in the placeholder, say welcome is at index 1 and world is at index 2 and Python is at index 0, and execute this code, you will get the same output, welcome to the world of Python. So basically it means that you can shuffle all your arguments and at the end you can put the index to the placeholder to replace the correct word in the specified string, and this is very helpful during your coding. Next we will discuss how we can convert a type, say a floating point, and also round it off to a certain number of decimal points. So let's type a string, my previous semester percentage was, and then curly brace and then the percentage symbol, and let's apply the format function and specify the grade, say 95.46783, and if we execute this code you will see the number is being replaced in the placeholder. So if you want to round off this number to 2 decimal place, you have to just mention the index of the argument and then a decimal and number of place you want and the type of the variable, that is floating point. F represent a floating point. So now if you execute this, you will see you get an output of 95.47%. You can also replace some string using the positional formatting. Say I put a placeholder in the place of semester and just put the word semester as an argument, and I put the index of the argument in the placeholder, and if I execute this I get the same out. My previous semester percentage was 95.47%. There are several ways of doing the string formatting, and these are the main I discussed here. So now let's discuss about the index string function. The index string function returns the index of a substring inside the string if found. If the substring is not found, it raises an value error exception. The optional parameter start index and end index can be supplied to find the search string in the string created within the range of the indices. So let's take an example of a string, say miscellaneous, and try to find the index of the substring cell within it and execute the code. And the value returned is 3 as the substring cell start from the index position 3 in the string miscellaneous. So if we try to see what will happen if a substring is not present in the string provided, say we change this to call and execute it, so we get a value error as an exception and it returns a message substring not found. So if we try to provide a start index of 4 and change the substring as cell and execute the code, it will again return a value error exception as the cell substring is not available in this part of the string which start from the index 4. If we change the start index to 3, which is also the start index of the argument provided, that is the substring cell, and execute this code, it will return the index again as 3 as cell is starting from index position 3. So if we change the start index to 1 and end index to 7 and execute the code, it will again return the index position of the substring cell as 3 because the cell string start from the index 3 and extends to 4, 5, 6, and as we have provided the upper bound as 7, it will not include the index 7, so it will take till this L, the index position 6. To check that, if we change the end index as 6 and execute this, we get a value error because though the index position of the second L is 6, it will not include the upper bound and it will take till this position, and so the substring is not completed till the index 5. The difference between the index function and the find function is that it will return a value error exception if it does not find the substring within the string provided, but the find function will return a value of -1 if the substring is not found in the string provided. So this is the utility of the index function. So now let's discuss on isAlnum string function. The isAlnum function returns true if all characters in the string are alphanumeric, either alphabet or numbers. If not, it will return false. So let's take the string Python and apply the isAlnum function and execute the code, and it will return true as all the characters in the string provided are alphabets. If we also change to Python 3 and execute the code, it will again return true as the string contains only alphabets and numbers in it. If we introduce a space in this string between Python and the number 3 and execute it, it will return a false as space is not considered as alphabet or number, and so it does not satisfy the condition that all the characters available in the string is alphabet and numbers, so it returns a false. So this is the utility of the isAlnum function. The isalpha function returns true if all characters in the string are alphabet. If not, it will return false. The only difference between the isAlnum function and isalpha function is that the isAlnum function checks for both numbers and alphabets, but the isalpha function only checks for the alphabets. So if we take the same example, say the word Python, and apply the isalpha function and execute the code, it will return true. But if we take Python 3 and apply the isalpha function and execute the code, it will return false because 3 is a number, and in this string both alphabet and number is present, so it is a false for isalpha function. So you can understand the utility of isalpha function. So let's discuss now about the isascii string function. The isascii string function returns true if all characters in the string provided are ASCII characters, else it will return a false. So if we take an example of the string Python is awesome and apply the isascii string function and execute our code, it will return a true as all the characters available in the provided string are ASCII characters, including the spaces. Now if we replace the character O with some special character, maybe I type option O and execute the same function, it will return a false because this special character cannot be represented by the ASCII code, and thus it will return a false when we apply the isascii function on the string. The isdecimal string function returns a true if all characters in a string are decimal characters. If not, it will return a false. Decimal numbers will have a range of 0 to 9. So let's take a string 1, 2, 3, 4 which contains all decimal numbers, and if we apply the isdecimal string function and execute our code, it will return a true. If we provide a character in the string and apply the isdecimal string function, it will return a false. One more example I would like to provide, say the Unicode /U00B2. If we execute this, you will see that it denotes the superscript 2. If we apply the isdecimal string function on this superscript 2, it will return a false as it does not range between 0 to 9. Next, let's discuss on the isdigit string function. The isdigit string function returns a true if all characters in a string are digits. If not, it will return a false. This is very similar to the isdecimal string function with minor differences. So let's have an example of 1, 2, 3, 4 as a string and apply isdigit string function on it and execute our code, and you will see it returns a true. Similar to the isdecimal function, if the string contains any character, it will return a false. But if we apply the isdigit string function on the superscript 2, say /U00B2, and apply the isdigit string function, and execute the code, we will see it returns a true. So this is the difference between the isdecimal and isdigit string function, where isdigit string function returns a true on the superscript numbers also, unlike the isdecimal string function. So now let's discuss on the isidentifier string function. The isidentifier string function returns true if the string is a valid identifier in Python. If not, it will return false. A Python identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module or other object. An identifier starts with a letter A to Z or small a to Z or an underscore followed by 0 or more letters, underscore and digits, that may be 0 to 9. So let's take an example. Say we take the word Python and apply the isIdentifier string function and execute our code, and you will see it returns true, as Python may be declared as a variable, a class name, a module name or an object name in Python. Let's take another cell and let's apply a invalid identifier which is not valid in Python class name or variable name or object name or module name, etc. and apply the isIdentifier string function and execute our code, and you will see it will return a false. So it essentially returns true or false based on the validity of the Python semantics of declaring a variable name, a module name, a class name, a object name, etc. Next, let's discuss on the islower string function. The islower string function returns a true if all alphabets in a string are lowercase alphabet. If the string contains at least one uppercase alphabet, it will return a false. So let's take an example of a string which contains all lowercase alphabets and apply the islower string function. And if we execute the code, you will see it will return a true. Now let's have the same string with the first letter in uppercase and the rest of the letters in lowercase, and apply the islower function, and you will see it will return a false as one of the alphabet is in uppercase. And this is the utility of the islower function. Now let's discuss about the isnumeric string function. The isnumeric string function will return a true if all characters in the given string are numeric, else it will return a false. You may be wondering that there is a isdecimal function and also there is a isdigit function. Also now we are coming across the isnumeric string function. I have already explained the difference between the isdecimal and isdigit string function, as the isdecimal string function will be returning true if the string contains numbers between 0 to 9. The isdigit string function will return true if the given string contains the number 0 to 9 or a numeric superscript or subscript. The isnumeric string function will return true if the given string is a isdecimal number or a isdigit number, or it may be a fraction or anything numeral. So you may tell the isnumeric string function will cover the superset of isdigit and isdecimal string function. So now let's start with a simple example of 1, 2, 3, 4 and check if it is a numeric. And it is obvious that it will return a true. As we know, the Unicode string /u00b2 will return the superscript 2, and if we apply the isnumeric string function on it, it will return a true. Also, if we take another cell and try to run the Unicode string 00bd, you will see it returns a fraction, that is 1 by 2. If we apply the isnumeric string function on this 1 by 2 fraction, it will also return a true. The only case the isnumeric string function will return a false if it finds a alpha character in the string. So in this case, if we apply the isnumeric string function, it will return a false. And I hope you have understood the utility of the isnumeric string function. Now let's discuss about the isprintable string function. The isprintable string function will return true if all characters in the string are printable or the string is empty. It will return a false if the character in the string is not printable. So let's see with the example. So let's take the string Python is awesome and apply the isprintable string function. And let's execute the code. And as all the content of the string is printable, the isprintable function will return a true. Next, let's see if we apply the isprintable string function on a blank string and execute our code. And you can see it also returns a true on a blank string. Now next, let's try with a string having escape sequences. So we take the same string Python and here we put /n is and a /t awesome and apply the isprintable string function. And now you can see it returns a false as /n and /t are a new line character and a tab character respectively, and it is not printed in the string. So the isprintable string function returns a false, and you can well understand the utility of this string function. Now let's discuss about the isspace string function. The isspace string function returns a true if there are only white spaces character in the given string, else it will return a false. So let's see with an example. Say we take a string and put a white space in between and apply the isspace string function and execute the code, and you will see it returns a true. Next, let's apply the isspace string function on /t. So we take a space and /t in the string and apply the isspace string function, and you will see it will return a true as /t also applies spaces in the string. Now let's see if the isspace function works on the string having spaces and characters. So we use the string Python is awesome and apply the isspace string function, and you can see it will return a false as the string contains characters and also spaces, which does not satisfy the condition of the isspace string function. Next, let's discuss on the isTitle string function. The isTitle string function returns a true if the string is a title case string. By title cased, we mean that all the first letter of the words in the string will be in capital letter and the rest of the letters will be in small. The isTitle string function will return a false if any of the characters in the string is in capital case and if it is not the first letter of the word or any word starting with a lowercase alphabet. So let's take an example having fun with Python. Here you will notice I have kept all the words starting with capital letter in this string, and if we apply isTitle on this string we will get a true. Next, if we use the same string having fun with Python, and if you have noticed that I have intentionally kept the first alphabet of the with as lowercase and apply the isTitle string function on this string and execute it, I will get a false because the alphabet W is in small case, which does not match the criteria of the isTitle string function. Next, if we take another cell and use the same string having fun with Python, here if you have noticed that I have kept all the starting letter of the words as capital letter, but I have kept all the alphabets of the word Python as caps. Let's apply the isTitle function on this string, and if we execute it, you will see it will return a false as all the alphabet in the word Python is in capital letter, which also does not satisfy the criteria of the isTitle function. Next, if we have a string having fun at Python where all the words are starting with the capital cased letter and also there is a symbol at the rate, and if we apply the isTitle function on this string, it will return a true as the symbol do not have any effect on the isTitle string function. Next, if we use the same string having fun with Python 3, where I have just put a number in this string and having all the words starting with uppercase letter following with lowercase letter, and apply the isTitle function, we will notice it will return a true, as again the number do not have any effect on the isTitle function. Hope these examples has explained you the utility of the isTitle function. Next, let's discuss on the isupper string function. The isupper string function will return a true if all the available letters in the string is uppercased, else it will return a false. So if we take the example Python is awesome and apply the isupper string function, it will check if all the characters present in the given string are in uppercase or not, and it will return a true as the given string has all the letters in uppercase. If we use the same string by just putting few of the letters in lowercase and apply the isupper string function, you will see it will return false, as though the word Python has all the letters in uppercase, the other two words is and awesome has lowercase letters, and that is the reason the isupper string function returns a false, and this is the utility of the isupper string function. Now it's the time for the tip for this video. As a tip, I would like to let you know, as Python is a case sensitive programming language, please do not forget to ensure the strings for the one you are operating on and the one you are passing as parameter or argument are in same case, else the operation may fail. You may use the string function to convert to the same case before performing the actual intended operation. It is now time for the homework for this video. The first task I would like to give you to please practice all the string function discussed in this video in a Jupyter notebook. Next, assign the following string in a variable I did not fell that tree which fell from a fell on the fell of a tiger which died of a fell disease. The first task you need to do on this string is count the number of occurrence of the word fell. Next, print the index of the first occurrence of the word fell. Next, print the index of the last occurrence of the word fell. And the last one, find and print the index of the words tiger, tree and bear in the given string. Thanks all for watching this video till the end. I hope you are getting the understanding by watching my videos. If you have any questions or you are facing any issues, please do post in the comment section and I will try my best to reply the same. If you are liking my video, please do not forget to give me a big thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you get a notification when I post my next video. Thank you all again. Stay healthy and safe.